This is the worst fight result in UFC history. Conor McGregor just injured his right leg in the opening minute of his fight against Max Holloway at UFC 329. He's injured and the fight had to be stopped. Max by technical knockout. This is the most disappointing result I've ever witnessed in UFC history. The arena, the stadium was packed to the brim, bro. This is like this gate was high, bro. You know this is like the highest, most viewed pay per view probably. It's up there probably with the Habib numbers, with the numbers against like the Poirier fights for McGregor. This fight, the return of McGregor. You know the views were spiking for this event. All that for this. 6 years of build up for this. 6 years of, oh, is he going to come back? I didn't even think he was going to come back. I'm going to be honest, man. If you asked me, like, even like before this fight was announced, if you asked me 6 months ago, do you think McGregor will ever return? I would have said no. I would have said no. I don't think McGregor is ever going to return. He's too far gone. The drug use, the lack of training, the ring rust. It's just that he doesn't have like that level of willpower to train in the situation that he's in. He's made it. He's successful. I didn't think he was ever going to come back, right? And I didn't think he'd be competing at a high level. We got to a point where we saw him. He entered the cage against Max Holloway, man. That was the most excited I've ever been, and this is like genuinely my disappointment is immeasurable. This has ruined my weekend. This has ruined my night, and I'm sure it has ruined it for all of you watching too, man. This is really, really disappointing. This sucks, man. This is horrible. But yeah, man, Conor McGregor. What I think is next for him, I think either what's good for Conor is that he probably just should hang it up. I don't think he should come back to MMA. If I were like, I guess a member of his family, I would probably be saying that. Obviously, selfishly, I would want him to come back. But his body's clearly deteriorated. Just look at him. He looks super slow. I know like the fight didn't even happen, but in the very few striking exchanges that they tried, that they almost got into, Conor looked super slow. It looked like his reaction time really wasn't there. He didn't look like his heart was in it. But maybe that's just because he was injured. Who knows, man? He didn't look on form at all, is what I'm going to say. He did not look good. He opened up with his spinning roundhouse kick, he opened up with a jumping roundhouse kick, lands weirdly on his right foot. Then he falls to the ground, and after that, every time he gets back up, he's kind of just like slipping. Every time he puts weight on that right leg, it's just bothering him. He slipped like a couple times. Every time he got down, Max Holloway would just rain down a little bit of ground and pound. And then, Max was talking to the ref, Mike Beltran, like saying like, oh, he's hurt. He can't continue. He was like talking to him the whole time. And then McGregor gets back up for like the third time. And they're about to engage again. He steps weirdly on his right leg. Or he steps on his right leg, puts weight on it, winces. Clearly it's injured, and then the fight gets stopped. Like 2 minutes in, it gets stopped. This is one of the the commentators were saying, like DC said, like, dude, this is worse than like Aspinall gone. Dude, of course it's worse. This one is like orders of magnitude worse than Aspinall gone. It's the return of fucking Conor McGregor, bro. And it goes out like this. I don't know if he'll come back, but I want him to come back. And honestly, you know what? I think he will. I think that Conor McGregor will come back. Because based on the way he was talking, like, I don't think he'd let himself just go out like this. I don't think he'd let this be the end of his career. At least let him complete a fight. I think his mindset would be at least let me go in there and prove to myself that I can get through a fight. Like, he's not coming back just for money, bro. People in the comments are talking about, like, dude, like, he did this for the payday. Bro, like, dude, this guy has, like, a net worth of $300 million. Probably more now with all the, like, companies and, investments he's been making with his brand. BKFC, all that. Like, the man is rich. The man's got M's, bro. He isn't doing this for the money. He's doing this because he loves fighting. He's doing this to come back for the love of the game. And he wants to test himself, and he wants to get back to his roots, to fighting. And I think that, honestly, this fight should get rebooked. If gun to my head, if you ask me right now what I think is going to happen, I think this fight gets rebooked. Clearly, Max Holloway wanted it. He was saying, like, he said like 5 times during the post-fight interview, let's run this back, McGregor versus Holloway 3. I think if McGregor's up for it, they'll do it, and I think McGregor will be doing this. I don't think McGregor's gonna let himself go out like this. But again, horrible, horrible, disappointing. Like, there's nothing I can say. That's all I can really say. Like, I could like repeat myself for hours because of how disappointing this was. But there's nothing to talk about in this fight. McGregor looked a little slow, but honestly, dude, like that's just based on like the 3 seconds of striking that I saw. I don't even like I can't even say for sure like what I thought of Conor because I didn't see him fight at all. Obviously, Conor's not going to be on form. Um, I weirdly kind of I wanted McGregor to get the KO win. I was weirdly kind of thinking, shoot, maybe Conor's gonna win. Realistically, it was gonna be Max by KO either way. But dude, we'll never know, man. Conor's big, Conor's powerful. Something he could have made something happen, dude. But honestly, like his body is clearly deteriorated now. His legs have gone through damage in the first Max Holloway fight. They've gone through obviously the horrible leg break against Poirier and now this. He's really got to get some conditioning on those legs. He's got to do PT. But if all things go the way I think they will, I do believe Conor McGregor will come back. But again, horrible, horrible result to this fight. UFC 329. I'm just gonna quickly go over the rest of the card, guys. I honestly I've been taking a big break on making videos, but this is obviously McGregor. I didn't even make a video for Gagey to Poirier in the White House. Crazy event, by the way. That was amazing to watch. I was screaming watching that fight. But anyway, over the rest of the card, I'm just going to go over this really quickly because I think I'm just going to go to sleep after this. Horrible result. Fuck, Jesus Christ. Dude, I'm so disappointed, man. Okay, BSG Paddy Pimblett. Dude, these past two fights genuinely took a total of like 20 minutes with the walkouts and intro and everything. Like, it just took like 20 minutes for both of these fights to wrap up. Jesus Christ. Great performance by Paddy Pimblett. To me, this fight was about to go two ways. Honestly, I was thinking that either Paddy was going to get the submission or BSD was going to get the knockout. I think that Paddy, weirdly enough, I could have seen a world where BSD would catch Paddy on the feet because he's so open, and I understand BSD's open too. I was thinking that BSD they were gonna get in the pocket and exchange. Paddy's super open. I think that Paddy throws these weird looping shots, which I thought were gonna just kind of go around and past BSD because BSD when he comes at you, he's like all the way in. He's putting his head in your chest, and I thought he was gonna bomb Paddy just over the top with a big shot, drop him, and potentially TKO him. That was what I was thinking. But dude, the other alternative result that I was thinking was the second most likely result was that BSD is gonna get subbed, man, and that's what happened. BSD is like, I'm sorry, but the guy's retarded. They're both retarded. Paddy Pimblett, what Paddy Pimblett does bad, he does very, very bad. And that's something that I saw watching MMA Che's stream. Paddy Pimblett, dude, his striking, his boxing and his boxing defense is atrocious. It's horrible. So that's what I thought that was the bad part about Paddy Pimblett's game that I thought BSD could expose if he were to win. But if it were BSD losing, I didn't think he was going to get chinned. I did not think BSD would get chinned either way, even though Paddy's big and strong and powerful. I just didn't think Paddy was accurate enough to find BSD's chin regardless. I thought if Paddy was getting a win, it's going to be by sub, because BSD, man, this dude just shoots, giving up his neck every single time. Against Dan Hooker, who's got a decent guillotine, by the way, against Dan Hooker, he shot himself into Dan Hooker's guillotine so many times in that fight. Like, he gave up his neck 100 times in that fight. It's just that, Dan Hooker was kind of gassed. He's really slow. BSD can kind of slowly move and, like, inch his way out of those submission attempts from Dan Hooker. Plus, like, by the time round 2 came around in that fight, I'm talking about Dan Hooker versus BSD, they were already, like, pretty sweaty, and they weren't really dry anymore. So it was kind of easier for BSD to kind of wiggle out of those submissions and kind of just like pop his head out. They were completely dry. And first 2 seconds of the fight, BSD shoots his way in to just a fat guillotine from Paddy. He tries rolling out of it. Paddy transitions into a Darce choke. And then usually they hook the leg on the same side as like their interlocking arms to get that like Darce finish. Paddy kind of did this like weird like spider wrap where he like wrapped up both his legs around BSD's hips, almost as if he was going for it's like where your legs would be if you had a guillotine in, except he had a darce in. So he was like fully just folded over the top of BSD. BSD tries rolling out of it, but it's already cinched in at that point. Super quickly, it's really tight, right? And then Paddy rolls with BSD. Very slick move by Paddy. He's obviously very good on the ground, and then he gets the submission. BSD goes out like very quickly into round one, right? And again, BSD is retarded, bro. There's no way else to say it. BSD, like, this is just a horrible habit that he always does. And he, like, honestly, with BSD, it's like if you have the attributes and certain, like, skill sets to beat him, you got to be, like, a powerful boxer like Poirier and put him out. Just take advantage of how open he is on the feet. Or you got to be like Paddy, very slick submission artist who can just wrap you up super quickly. Like, Charles Oliveira would have done the same thing to BSD. He would have done easily the same thing. He would have finished BSD so fucking quick with a guillotine. It wouldn't have been funny, bro. Like, those are the two ways you beat BSD, and people who can do that are 100% guaranteed to beat BSD, because he is not changing. He's always fought the same way, man. He has always fought the same way. It's just the guys he's beating, the guys he's, like, completely ragdolling and fucking up on the ground, are the guys who don't have those skill sets and don't have those attributes to be able to finish him. And when BSD gets going, when he gets all the momentum, he's smashing you to bits on the ground. There's nothing much you can do about it. And Paddy Pimblett is one of those guys. He's always going to have that submission like threat over BSD, and BSD is, like, the way he fights is he's not going to make a fucking game plan adjustment. It's BSD, bro. He always fights like that. He wasn't going to change his game plan for Paddy Pimblett. And the one thing you don't want to do against Paddy, dude, is initiate a takedown, is initiate a grappling exchange against him, because that's the one time Paddy's A game is going to open up. Paddy's not going to go for offensive takedowns. If he does, they're pretty bad anyway. He doesn't have that in his bag, dude. Like, if you stay on the feet with him and don't initiate anything, he's going to stand there and strike with you like he did against Gagey. Like, the only time Paddy's going to be able to use his best weapon, his offensive grappling, is if you shoot on him. And that's exactly what BSD did. And it was the one thing you can't do against Paddy, and he did it. So, yeah, he gets choked out really fucking quick. Quick night in the office for Paddy. I don't know. I think that they should make the Armand fight next. I was thinking that they should make Armand Charles too, but they could make the Armand fight against Paddy next. I think that's totally a fight that I can see them booking. Obviously, the two guys have beef. They can do that. Corey Sandhagen, Mario Batista. Disappointing performance from Corey Sandhagen. I expected a lot more from Sandhagen. Dude, he just looks slowed down, but it's not even that, dude. Like, he looked good against Merab. Dude, I think Sandhagen's just not motivated. I don't think he just wants it as much anymore. Like, there was a period of time where he was hungry, where he was knocking all these guys out. And he's been good since then as well. But he hasn't fought with that fire that, like, 2021 prime Sandhagen had. Like, even against Umar Nurmagomedov, as good as he did against him to defend the grappling, he just didn't have it on the feet to just go at him and, like, throw big shit. He would just, like, stand at range and stance switch and fucking throw out these little, like, bitchy-ass leg kicks that would do zero damage. And he's pretty accurate with his jab. He's got a nice little left hook. It's pretty slick. He'll find you. He's accurate. But he has no power, no finishing ability. And he's so low volume. For the little power that he has a surprisingly low number of, like, strikes thrown per round. Like, if he's, like, a zero power type of guy, but he's accurate enough to hit you, you need to be throwing all the time, dude. Like, what are you doing, Sandhagen? Mario Batista gets the win. Way slicker boxing. More powerful guy as well. Whenever he entered the pocket, Sandhagen would be like a singular shot type of guy. He would maybe catch Mario Batista on the way in, but then Batista would land like 3, 4, 5 shots on the guard of Sandhagen, and he would land pretty cleanly with like 2 of those shots every time. And was able to just outbox Sandhagen. That was pretty much the end of it. He was able to outbox Sandhagen. Round 1, he went for like that like Sulev like leg stretch thing, I think, that Charles Johnson got hit with. He kind of hurt Corey Sandhagen's leg at the end of round 1. We saw Sandhagen limping back to his corner after that. He kind of ekes out a round 2, but it was so like passionless. Like, it didn't look like he wanted it. He just barely beat Mario Batista. Mario Batista was still throwing more that round. It's just like there was nothing clean coming back from Mario Batista. Nothing really landed of significance, and then Corey Sandhagen maybe got him with a couple like slick jabs, a couple slick hooks, and just won based on that. But it was such a like nothing burger round. Round 3 comes around. He gets dropped bad by a hook from Mario Batista. And then after that, he kind of just gets ragdolled. And he gets like continuously dragged back down to the mat with that body lock from Batista. And he just he isn't able to rally back from that. Every time Corey Sandhagen gets hurt, dude, it's basically wraps for him. Because then he just loses all of his mojo, all of his confidence. And it's not like he had much to begin with for this fight, but after that, he was not coming back from that. He just couldn't do anything, and he loses a 29-28 decision. Very disappointing. I think Corey Sandhagen, man, dude, like he's not top five material, dude. He's not top five material anymore. He isn't beating these top guys. Umar, Yan, like all these guys. Like he's not on form anymore. Brandon Royval, Loner Kavanagh, amazing fight. It was great. Brandon Royval got hurt multiple times in that fight. Dropped pretty bad round 2. He wins round 1 with the wrestling and landing some good jabs. It was pretty close, and he got the takedown against Kavanagh. So he won round 1. Then he loses round 2, gets dropped bad, almost finished. But, dude, Brandon Royval, I want to say this. He's a dog, bro. This guy's a dog. This fight was... He always puts on entertaining fights. Dude, I really respect the hell out of Brandon Royval. He always puts on the best fights. Even when he gets hurt. Like, in this fight, he rallied back, dude. When he doesn't get put out, he'll just keep coming at you. Like, he's got great recovery. When he got dropped, he was able to separate himself from Kavanagh. He was right back on the pressure. He was right back on jabbing Kavanagh and then going in with, like, combinations into the pocket, which is also a little stupid. Like, when you're the longer guy, I don't know why you're trying to box in the pocket with Loner Kavanagh, who's a shorter opponent. But still, he just dogs it out. Boxes with him, but loses the second round. Third round, he rocks Kavanagh with a jab. Kavanagh then rocks him back with a big hook. Crazy fight, but then Brandon Royval finds the takedown. Really crazy back and forth third round. He finds a takedown. They kind of struggle on the ground for a bit, and then Brandon Royval starts grappling, hunting that arm triangle, which he isn't able to completely get against Loner Kavanagh. And then he kind of postures up, elbows Kavanagh a couple times to get him to move position and scramble. And then in that scramble, Royval finds the back, gets the back taken, gets the rear naked. Great performance by Brandon Royval, holding his spot in the rankings. Loner Kavanagh, dude, he's good. He's really good. Honestly, he's got to work his way back up. I think that Kavanagh's skill set wise is always really good, but I think, and he didn't even show like any gas tank problems in this fight like he usually does. Honestly, I think his conditioning is pretty overblown in terms of how badly people like make it out to be. His gas tank is fine. He's just like, first of all, like even though he dropped Royval, he just doesn't have that power to finish him, dude. Like he's so small, and he can get ragged. Like when he can get ragdolled so easily because of his size. Like Brandon Royval, when he hugs, when he bear hugs like Loner Kavanagh up against the cage, Kavanagh's like doing everything he can to stop the takedown. Technically, he's doing everything right, but then he's still getting like lifted and taken down. He's getting his hips taken just because he's so small and like physically he can just get bullied around on the ground, and that's what we saw here. And then King Green versus Terrence McKinney kind of went the way we thought it was going to go. Terrence McKinney with the early blitz kind of bloodies Bobby Green's face a little bit. I'm surprised Green ate some of the shots that he ate because he's so chinny. So I'm surprised that he actually took some of those shots. But he was like kind of doing the usual Bobby Green shit, standing around at range, doing his head movement, slipping out of the way of shots. He gets tagged a couple times, but and he even gets like taken down, beaten up from up top a little bit, but then he finds his way back up. Terrence McKinney is visibly gassed, right? That's why he initiated the early takedown, like near the end of the first round. You knew that was like when Terrence McKinney's flurry was over, and at that point it was all Bobby Green's fight. And Terrence McKinney, dude, this guy just gave up. Like he just like last like 10 seconds of the fight, he didn't even get hit that cleanly. He just crumples to the floor. Bobby Green gets the ground and pound TKO. Last second of round 1, it gets stopped. A more lenient ref probably could have let that go on, but if I'm being honest, like if the fight went to round 2, Terrence McKinney was getting chinned round 2. So yeah, dude. King Green, or Bobby Green, gets the win again. I'm not calling you fucking King, bro. But Bobby Green gets the win again. Impressive stuff from him. He's on a little bit of a win streak. The Unk is back, but dude, again, I just talked a lot about the whole card, but dude, this McGregor shit was the most disappointing thing ever. I hope he comes back. I hope they can run back the Max Holloway fight because they really need to do this, dude. Like, I want McGregor to come back. I need him to come back. He got me into the sport. He got everybody into the sport. Everyone in that arena knew the sport of MMA because of Conor McGregor. And he went out like this. I feel like this can't be the last we see of Conor. But if it is, again, the guy's had a legendary career. And yeah, dude, I guess I'll be covering the sport a little bit more closely now. I'll definitely make a video on Usman DDP. So yeah, stay tuned for that one. I'll see you guys in the next one.